the kind of information that we're going to look at, that we'd like to be able to represent and look at, is some entity A sends some money to entity B and sends some money to entity C. And entity B sends it to these three other guys. Part of the money goes to each of them. And entity C sends some money to these two other guys. And it all comes back to the originator. It all comes back to entity A. So if we saw a pattern like that, we might suspect that money laundering is going on. This guy sends out money and it all comes back to him. Now, if you had a relational database with these little tables, you'd have to start looking in this table that is A's account, and then you'd have to see that he wrote a check to B, and then you'd have to go over in B's account and look there, and you'd be searching in table after table, and relational databases can eventually do that, but they're terribly inefficient at it, to the point that it would take so long people don't even bother to try. In a graph-oriented database, we actually represent the data as something equivalent to these little circles and arrows. You think of the circles as representing some noun. This is a company, or it's an individual with a bank account, or it's a certain person, and here's some other noun here on this circle, and there is some verb represented by the arrow. This person lives in Seattle, or this person owns a Toyota, or something like that. So it's always noun, verb, noun, and all the data in the database is stored that way. And it has this nice property that if you're storing these triples of information, they correspond exactly to what we think of mathematically as a directed graph, and which is just a set of these circles, and they're connected by arrows. So conceptually, this is the kind of data that's stored in a graph-oriented database as opposed to a relational database. And it does well at searching for certain patterns in this graph structure. My name is David Mizell. I'm a senior technical project lead at YarcData, and this has been a Eureka moment.